Less than 1 week after a New York Jet makes a catastrophic mistake in a football game, the New York Jets have made an impact signing to address the exact position that player used to play. I say used to play because we got some stuff to break down about that player as well, and we're going to break all that down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, only 30.7% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. But let's hop into the news for today. The first part is what happened earlier today, which is going to be Xavier Gibson, the New York Jets punt returner over the last couple of years, was officially cut by the team. We know Aaron Glenn was not going to stand for making big time mistakes, and Xavier Gibson unfortunately did make a big time mistake versus the Pittsburgh Steelers at maybe about 3:30 on Sunday when he fumbled the football. One of the mistakes that led to the New York Jets losing the football game. We were up by a score. After that, we were losing. Not the only reason why the Jets lost that game, but definitely a really bad sign for someone who was already on the roster bubble all through preseason, all through training camp. Now going to the season, week one, making a big mistake like that. It was going to be tough for Xavier Gibson to hang around, and Aaron Glenn did seek on the moment. What he said was, the one thing that turned this game is, man, we can't have turnovers. We can't do it. We have to be a more disciplined team. There were some penalties that happened in that game that were true discipline issues. And again, that's something that will be addressed, because you will not be on the field with this team if you're going to cause us to lose games. If you're going to cause issues like that, and then you're not going to be on the team if you're going to be causing issues like that. So, messed up his cadence a little bit there, but the point still stands. Aaron Glenn, if someone makes mistakes, there will be consequences. If you're having drop problems or fumble problems or penalty problems, Aaron Glenn is going to solve the problem. He's not going to do what Robert Saleh did, which was pretty much tell you it's okay, and changes weren't really made. Aaron Glenn's going to make those changes. He's going to make sure that people are learning that you can't make these mistakes over and over again if you're going to stick around on the team. And what people are going to do when times like that come up, they're going to concentrate more on the little things to make sure that they don't make those little mistakes, because they know if they make a little mistake, they're not going to be on the New York Jets, or if they're a starter, they're going to be moved to a backup. Of course, if Garrett Wilson drops a couple passes, Aaron Glenn isn't going to cut him right there. But when even someone as high up as a Garrett Wilson, I'm not like blaming him for dropping passes the first game, but I'm just saying no one is safe if you're not doing your job. Aaron Glenn is going to stand on business. He's going to live up to everything he's saying, and he's going to use you as an example of what happens when you don't do the little things right. Now, if you are someone who just isn't good enough to do what is being asked of you, that's different. But everyone in the NFL is good enough to hold on to the football, not fumble the ball. If you're an offensive lineman, everyone at the NFL level is good enough to know when the snap count is to not false start. If you're the quarterback, you're good enough to communicate the play before the play clock runs out. These little procedural penalties will be getting cleaned up, because Aaron Glenn will not stand for them. If those mistakes are made, he will correct them. Now, Xavier Gibson, not someone that I was excited to see go, because I have very fond memories of, Aaron Rodgers' first game as a New York Jet versus the Buffalo Bills. I was in attendance actually near that end zone where Xavier Gibson had that game-winning walk-off punt return touchdown in overtime to beat our rival Buffalo Bills on week one of the NFL season. That was great to see. That was what a roller coaster of a game that is. Now, the New York Jets, our kick returner, it's going to be Quinnen Williams, provided he is healthy. Today, he may not be healthy. Quinnen Robinson, I am projecting he's going to take over after they signed that running back off of another team. He was out of Texas a couple years ago where he played with Bijan Robinson. Then Quinnen Robinson was in the NFL. I think he was on the Eagles for a season, now making his way over to the New York Jets' practice squad. Quinnen Robinson will be upgraded to the New York Jets active roster should Quinnen Williams not be ready to go. That's what's going on, hands down, kick return wise. Punt return wise, the New York Jets have more questions, which is why their punt return here is getting cut in Xavier Gibson, but they're actually going to be bringing in someone else. According to New York Jets insider Rich Cimini, the Jets signed wide receiver / kick returner Isaiah Williams from the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad. Glenn knows him from Detroit. Williams was a Lions undrafted free agent last season. And then in an update, he edited his tweet at 12:13, and he said, Williams takes Gibson's spot on the 53-man roster. So already activated not in our practice squad. Isaiah Williams is on the New York Jets' current active roster, which means there's a clear plan for this guy to play, and he's going to play at the punt return position, provided going forward if he's doing a pretty good job, or he's going to be taking over those kick returns if Quinnen Williams is not healthy. Isaiah Davis is the last name that is floating around right now, and the last name that makes sense as a kick returner for the New York Jets. Remember, this season and last season, teams are shifting more to running backs as kick returners because with the new kickoff rules, the kickoff teams block the plays like running plays, so they use running backs to execute running plays. Makes a lot of sense? Good. Now, getting into these stats that we have from Isaiah Williams, they are, not inspiring. 93 career yards in 8 games. This is not a wide receiver. I know our wide receiver room is very shallow. He might be out there to run a couple of routes when we, need a little bit of depth, but don't expect Isaiah Williams to turn into anything in the pass catching game. He's not going to be a huge difference maker. I know a lot of people like to get excited every time we sign a player, and you should be excited every time you sign a player, but you have to make sure you are setting proper expectations for every player that gets signed, and the proper expectations for this player is going to be pure return man. Do not expect anything from him in the receiving game, and that's just what he is going to be going forward. So now Aaron Glenn is continuing to put his stamp on the team, and every single time you make a move like this where someone makes a mistake and gets replaced, it sends a message throughout the entire team and throughout the entire organization that things are being done differently this year. He is telling them that this is not like last year. You can't get away with the little mistakes, and the number one thing I love about it is the fact that not only is Aaron Glenn saying everything we want to hear, he is clearly a man of his word, and he is doing everything that he is saying he's going to do. So far, everything he said he's going to do, it's coming true. He said we were going to start winning. We didn't win week 1, but we played it really tough with a team that projects to be really, really good. And after watching the film, there's a ton of exciting things after that game, especially by Justin Fields. Justin Fields, usually, I have talked a lot about how watching his film over the years, I've watched every single game and a lot of them twice for Justin Fields, and he had problems that were not improving. One of his number one problems is he was too early to run, and when he ran, he would get to the line of scrimmage and he would drop his eyes and not continue to look downfield. It was clear and obvious that Justin Fields, when he was getting ready to run, he was still looking to pass at the same time, and that's how you become a true dual threat quarterback in this league and not just a running quarterback. That's one of the great things to see with Justin Fields. Also, he had another huge problem with the Chicago Bears where he would drift in the pocket and he took a ton of sacks and people would always blame it on the offensive line. But I said, look at the way he's playing quarterback. The offensive line is designed to keep you safe in the pocket. He would used to drift to one side and a D lineman could reach over and either swat the pass, knock it out of his hands, or they could reach over and grab him. And he got sacked multiple times through his offensive lineman because he drifted one way or the other. Justin Fields, when the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to get pressure on him, he stayed in the pocket and stayed exactly where he was supposed to be protected before running out and trying to scramble and use the ability. It was great to see because he was using his athleticism as a tool, not as a crutch. Now, was his accuracy perfect? No, it wasn't perfect, but I loved to see the things that he needed to improve on and the things that I've been watching closely for him to improve on, those were improving, and he's not taking any big risks while he's passing. He's just making the easy throw, making the easy read, and the number one thing I got to talk about, the play calling was 1,000 times better. This Jets offense, it was not a fluke that they put up 32 points, I think it was. Maybe my memory's not perfect, but more than 30 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Looked phenomenal. That's not a fluke. Armand Membo looked phenomenal. PFF's number 1 graded tackle. It's only week 1. I don't expect him to be the number 1 tackle all season long, but Armand Membo definitely looks like a great pick. The offense, Tanner Engstrand is calling a phenomenal offense, and he is putting the New York Jets skill position players in position to get an advantage over the defense, X's and O's wise. It is so refreshing to watch this New York Jets team clearly have more than competent coaching. We actually are getting an advantage coaching wise when we are on offense, and they're going to maximize the talent level that is on offense. Justin Fields, his numbers weren't jumping off the page. It was only a little bit over 200, but in the past, his numbers haven't even been that high. It was great. Justin Fields didn't take a monstrous step forward, but he took the steps that I have been looking for years, which is why I have a lot more confidence going forwards in Justin Fields today than I did before the season started. But in my defense, he deserved those criticisms before the season started because he went years and years and years without getting better. So now, I got to make sure I'm staying objective. Now when he does show the stuff, I got to say that he's showing the stuff because he is showing the stuff, and I can't wait to see what he's got for next week. Hopefully he continues to build on that game against what should be a weaker defense in the Buffalo Bills. Can't wait for next Sunday. Let's go Jets, baby. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching the video. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And go Jets. Let's beat those Bills, baby.